St. Louis-based rapper Chingy started getting some serious attention after he released his 2003 hit, Right There, which charted in the top 3 position on the Billboard Hot 100. He went on to release 2 albums that went platinum and sold millions of copies. This quickly made him a household name. From the age of 10, Chingy would write his own songs and record some of his own music. As a teenager, he formed a rap group called LSD, later changed to Without Warning, with some childhood friends. The group started performing in St. Louis and made a name for themselves in the area since there weren't many rappers coming out of that area. When the group broke up, he started another group called Two Strikes, which caught the attention of fellow St. Louis rapper Nelly. The group opened for Nelly on his tour and performed all over America. After the group split, Nelly's group manager, Trackstars, got Chingy in contact with Ludacris, who was the co-founder of the Disturbing the Peace record label. He signed to DTP in 2003 and went on to release his debut album, Jackpot, which sold over 3 million copies thanks to his hits Right There, Holiday Inn, and One Call Away. All 3 songs made it to the top 3 positions on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. His first album was a huge success and fans fell in love with his St. Louis accent. A year later, Chingy left Disturbing the Peace due to alleged royalty disputes and management issues. He then formed his own label called Slaughter-Lot Records under a distribution deal with Capitol Records and released his 3rd album, Powerballin'. His first album was very successful, and sometimes it can be quite difficult for artists to match or even come close to the success of their first project, especially when there's drama going on with your previous label heads. But luckily, Chingy's 2nd album, Powerballin', was pretty successful, selling over 1 million copies. This was his first album under his new label. Chingy started appearing on some popular shows like The George Lopez Show and Punk'd, and he even starred in Scary Movie 4. In 2006, he released his 3rd studio album, Hoodstar, which included hits like Pulling Me Back, which featured Tyrese. Now, this album wasn't as successful as his previous projects, but it went certified gold and sold over 500,000 copies. This album didn't garner as much attention as he anticipated, and was one of the main reasons he decided to later split from Capitol Records and return back to DTP Records. He released his 4th album, Hate It or Love It, under DTP, which didn't do well and only sold around 30,000 copies in its first week, even though there were some big names featured on the album like Ludacris and Rick Ross. This album was a major drop from his previous projects. After such poor album sales, he decided to part ways with DTP for the 2nd time. Chingy felt that he wasn't represented the right way as an artist. He did decide to go independent after separating from the label and went on to produce several mixtapes. He did take a hiatus from rapping, was planning to release his 5th album in 2009, but the project never happened due to lack of funding. He is still touring to this day and even went back to college and got his degree in astrology. He did go through some drama with Sydney Starr, who's a transgender woman, who claimed that they allegedly dated. Those rumors ended up being false, and Chingy claimed that this did hurt his career a little bit, even stating that he lost a record deal because of this situation. He's still making music, but it's not hitting like it used to. A lot of his new songs sound like his previous hits, and that kind of music and sound is not what's popular today, unfortunately, but people are still bopping to his music. He did make a stamp in the industry in the early 2000s. I would definitely like to see him in more acting roles, so I think that's something he should definitely consider. But he seems to be doing very well in his life right now. He's an independent artist, and sometimes it can be hard to break back into the industry, especially when so many artists are tied to labels. But he does produce his new music on his YouTube channel, and he also gives some much needed wisdom and gives updates on his life. He is definitely focusing more on his spirituality and leading a more enlightened and centered life, and he's aging like fine wine. It's really great to see that Chingy's doing well in his life, and I can only wish him well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.